Hello everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy X walkthrough. We are just about to take on Penance, and I want to show you guys exactly how I have my gear set up. I actually pretty much do this with floor characters. Alright, so this is my gear. I've got the break HP limit, auto haste, auto protect, and auto regen. And that is on Titus, Waka, Orin, and Riku. The reason why I use those three, specifically Titus, Orin, and Waka, because all three of those guys have a counter on their celestial weapon. So the reason why I like doing that is obviously, so the second half, basically Penance has two forms, and on its second form, which is probably like, I don't know, 75% of the fight, it has a single target ability that can be countered. And so I like to just have all three of my characters, I should say, I like to have those three on the field in order to counter. And then that's, you know, essentially 99,999 damage that you don't have to do with a quick hit instead. So that's kind of how I like to set it all up. You guys will see as, you know, as we go on here, how this battle all kind of unfolds. The very, very first, like, dozen, I think it's a dozen turns here, I just use quick hits on the arms just to get them down immediately. The one thing that you got to remember about this fight is that if the boss, so there's a little counter that runs, and I think once it gets to 19, the boss uses an ability. I think it's called Armageddon. I want to say it's Armageddon. Don't quote me on that though. I don't remember, and I don't think I've ever actually seen it. The reason why you want to have these arms down is that if that counter gets up to, like I said, like 19 or whatever, and both arms are alive, when the boss takes his turn, he will use Armageddon. And my impression is that it's, you know, does tons of damage. But anyways, you really want to avoid that. All right, so I'm sorry. His attack is actually called Judgment Day. So my bad. Not I don't remember what I said there. Apocalypse or something like that. Anyways, it's Judgment Day. And so you really want to avoid that. It does 99,999 damage as well as 999 MP damage. Now the MP, that's not that big of a deal. We're going to be using the, is it the 3 stars? I think it's 3 stars. So basically what I do and how the first couple of turns are fairly important. I should say few turns. Basically, again, take down the arms right away, one right after the other. And then I use cheer 5 times, and then the the following turn after all the cheers are done, that's when I use 3 stars, which is obviously what we're doing right here. That's really important, and I mean, I definitely recommend that. It's going to obviously reduce your MP costs to 0. There's a ton of reasons why that's super useful. I mean, obviously, we're going to use quick hit the entire fight, and the other reason why you really want to get that done is because we don't want to. You know, you don't ever want to run out of MP on this fight, and it'll cut down the time that it takes essentially to beat this, because, you know, if you're using MP constantly, especially on you know, highly draining abilities like quick hit here, you're going to be running out constantly, and this is an extremely long fight. So the fewer times you have to, you know, essentially recharge your mana, the better off you're going to be. And then on top of all that, you're really, you don't have much leeway as far as, like, extra turns. You really want to keep the battle rolling and at a steady pace. Otherwise, if you start getting bogged down, it's a huge issue. And so that being said, you really want to get those cheers done right away. You want to actually just reduce the amount of damage that you're taking every turn. I use the regen and break HP limit. I don't know if this can be done in a different way with the HD remaster versus the international version. I want to say that there's some changes now, and again, don't quote me on that though, because I don't actually know. I've never played the international version. I've only ever played NA version, which Penance is not even in, and then this version. So I really only have experience with this HD remastered version. Now, the first time I beat him, I was set up a little bit differently. I had break HP limit, auto haste, I think auto regen, and then defense plus 20%. And I don't think that that was a very good way to go about it at all. That defense plus 20% didn't seem like it did anything. Now maybe that's because, you know, I actually don't know. I don't know if that stat is, or if that that customized ability is worthwhile at all when your defense is already maxed out at the 255. I don't know. My impression was that it was going to give me another 25 or 20%, you know, defense over the top of what I already had, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Now, maybe it still is, but there's one more aspect to the second half of the fight that makes it, I guess, that you really don't want to be set up that way. And the reason being, you're going to have to cast Dispel on your own characters to remove the ability that Penance does. I think it's called, Immolation. So Obliteration is the attack that it uses in its first phase here, which is, you know, what it's been using. And Immolation inflicts slow. Obviously, by having auto haste on our gear, the slow doesn't take effect. And I don't know if you can even do this fight without auto haste. I'm not really sure. I don't know how that would work. I feel like it wouldn't. I feel like you really have to have that. Again, now I'm not 100% sure. I've never tried it without, but just kind of the way that this fight boils down, it sure seems like you need it. So that being said, again, now with when he shifts into his second form, there we're going to need to be dispelling our own characters, and if you don't have auto protect on your characters, you are either going to need to constantly recast it or just not have it on, and then you'll end up taking more damage, which means that you'll have to do more healing, which, you know, takes time. So in my opinion, the very first time I did this, and it took me at least 10 minutes longer to defeat this guy. Now this is by no means an extremely fast way. I don't know. I like just doing it this way because it was really easy for me to keep into a good rhythm. And you know, so I'm sure there's other faster ways to take this guy down. You know, I don't know if you know, overdrives are a good idea or not. I really don't know, but I really like this method because it's really easy to not screw up, I guess. And I don't know, I feel like that's pretty important, you know, if you can get into a good rhythm, and that's really what this fight boils down to. Once you get into a good pattern, he's really easy. I mean, to be honest, he just is. He's really easy. So, you know, you'll see here, once the second part of the fight kind of ramps up, then it'll be a little more interesting, but you know, essentially you just keep taking the arms down. Now, that's the other thing with this. I'm not sure if I could have sped this up or, you know, done this in a better way. My impression was that if you wait to kill off the arms until they're about to get a turn, they should regenerate slower, but I'm not really sure if that's, you know, really true or not. I don't know. I guess I haven't really tested it out a whole lot, but you know, part of that is that takes a little more I don't know, micromanaging, I suppose, in that you know, basically every single one of these arms takes I think it takes 6 hits to take down, and you know, so then you got to keep track, which, you know, I don't know, it's not that difficult to do, that's for sure. You could definitely do that, but I typically, what I do is finish off one, go right to the other, finish that one off, and then get a couple of good hits on the boss. You know, I guess I would say that because of the way my gear is set up, it really allows me to, I guess, not really care. I guess as far like efficiency wise, or, you know, timing. You know, because again, I guess when it boils down to it, I'm never in like in danger of having anybody killed off. You know, the flow seems really good, and you know, it's extremely easy. I guess, you know. I think it's pretty. Well, I suppose a lot of people think that he's the toughest enemy in the game, and in some aspects for sure. I guess the only thing I would say is, as long as you're prepared well enough, he sure doesn't seem like he's that difficult. But you know, I guess, you know, to me, maybe that's not saying a whole lot, just because you know, my number one, my character stats are maxed out right now. They're literally maxed out. They're as best as you can get, and you know, the gear I've got took a bit of time to acquire and customize properly. So you know, if you, again, I guess it's just like any other boss in the game. If you've you know, if you know how to take care of it, or you know how to, you know, the tactics, and you're prepared gear-wise, you know, it's extremely easy. So trying to see here when I'd like to get into the second part of the fight. I think that's right around the 15-minute mark. So you know, I guess when it comes down to this fight too, I wouldn't say that you're going to get a whole lot out of watching the entire fight. Essentially, it's just the base tactics that you have to know or understand, and the rest of the fight's, to be honest, extremely easy. I do have a little bit of a hiccup though. Once the second form actually starts, I accidentally used Isuna instead of Dispel, and you'll see that. I'll try to point that out, but Isuna does not get rid of, I think he does Mental Break and Armor Break, and getting rid of the Armor Break is actually what really is actually the most important part about this fight, because if you don't get rid of that Armor Break, Immolation will kill you, will one-shot you. So you know, again, you really have to get rid of that, otherwise you're just going to basically, I would say almost once one character dies, it's actually really difficult to kind of come back, just because of the way this fight works. So the one thing that you're not seeing is these arms using their abilities, and that's because I'm killing them fast enough. It gets extremely dangerous once they actually start you know, being able to cast spells. I know one of them will use Mighty Guard, the other one for sure will use, I think it's like Terra Graviton or something like that. And they just hit extremely hard, and like I said, as long as, or if they get attacks off, your chances of taking him down are really poor. Alright, so there we go. So you saw there, I accidentally used Isuna with Riku, and then I had to use Dispel with Auron. Now, so basically, like I said, there was that little bit of a hiccup, but from here on out, I believe the way I handle this is that anytime the boss uses Immolation, I bring Riku in to use Dispel. And the reason why I do that is because it gets really annoying if you're trying to use the same 3 characters over and over. Just flipping through the different menus, going from, you know, quick hit to Dispel and vice versa. So that's kind of why I bring Riku in to take care of the Dispels. Generally, the best way to handle that, because of the way regen works, is you're going to want to bring out whatever character has the most HP of the 2 that don't have Armor Break or Mental Break on them. Reason being is because if you keep taking out the character that's got the lowest amount of health, he or she will get lower and lower on health until you'll probably have to heal them. And my goal for this was to just not ever have to heal with any items or any you know, anything other than regen. Basically, I wanted regen to do all the work. So and I think that turned out fairly. Excuse me. Wow. I think that turned out fairly well. But all right. So let's see who we need to cast. Oh, and this is where I realized that Riku got hit with Immolation. So then her MP got nuked down. So I was like, oh god. Okay. So again, now I had that little bit of a hiccup there, and To be honest, I should have never had Riku get hit with that immolation anyway. I just timed that out really poorly, and that's generally what I did here. Was I tried to make sure that Riku got in, got her dispel off, and then got out before the boss was going to use immolation again. The biggest reason, once again, for that was because I wanted to get counters off on that immolation. And, you know, that just kind of, like, ups the overall efficiency of the fight. You know, the more counters you get, the less time you actually have to spend, you know, with quick hits, essentially doing the same thing. So, I guess, you know, again, that was my idea. And again, with Riku's weapon doesn't have any sort of countering type ability on it, so you really don't want her on the field as he's casting this immolation. So again, that was just a, you know, I guess a little bit, I don't know, almost like a secondary strategy, I suppose. You know, you can definitely do it without, like if you know, if you don't have 4 characters that are developed really well like this, if you've only got 3, it's still doable completely. And, you know, I mean, to be honest, you can do this with literally anybody, but I just prefer these ones, and again, because of the counter. So here, actually what I end up doing here is I don't ever get rid of Riku's mental break and armor break, just because, again, now, she will never be on the field again when the boss is about to use immolation. So that was not something that I was worried about, and you'll see me every time, you know, she comes in, uses a dispel, and then I swap her out with, you know, whoever else to get back onto the quick hits. And again, I mean, the biggest reason for that was because I didn't want to be cruising through the, well, 2 reasons actually. I didn't want to be cruising through the menus, you know, trying to look for dispel and cruising down to quick hit. That just got annoying, because that's what I did on the very first. My first time beating him, and it got super annoying. So tried to think of a way to avoid having to do that, and this is kind of how it all panned out, I suppose. All right, so I'm trying to think of other good things to know about this fight. Okay, so for one thing, Judgment Day, you know, hits all characters for maximum damage as well as 999 MP. It doesn't cancel auto life, but you know, again, with the way this game handles deaths, and you know, you kind of like lose a ton of, you know, you just lose turns every time you die. So there's a good chance that, you know, anytime you, I don't know, I feel like if you have a character die, it's going to be really difficult to recover. So it's more about preparation and you know, the first couple of turns. Now again, the once you get the first half, or well, it's more like the first quarter of the fight down well, that's pretty easy. The second part, you know, it's really just getting the dispels done before he gets another turn. If you forget, I guess there's a chance that you could recover, and I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, reset your game immediately if you do have somebody die, but it's gonna be rough. But you know, again, I think that you can give it a shot, and maybe it'll turn out for you. But yeah, I don't know. To be honest, there's not much left to the strategy here. I'm tempted to just call it a day on the commentary, because I mean, to be honest, there's just not really much else to it. You will see Waka start to get low here, and the reason being is because for whatever reason, Penance just kept picking him for immolations over and over and over. And you know, that's kind of just the way it's gonna go sometimes. Now, the kind of cool thing though about that too is, you know, if you really want to not have to heal, you don't really have to. Once you know, one of your characters gets way low or way too low, you can actually just swap one out, you know, with, well, in this case it would be Riku would be a really good choice. Now again, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get those counters like you would with these 3, but you know, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I don't remember what Kimari has on his weapon. He might have some sort of counter. But I think it has to be a physical type hit, though, too, because I don't believe this is considered a magic type ability. Which, you know, again, I don't remember what he's got on his weapon. You know, obviously it's going to be break damage limit and triple overdrive, but I don't know if he's got like a magic counter or if it's a magic evade. I don't know. I don't even know. Again, he's like one of my least favorite characters, so he doesn't get a whole lot of use. Anyways, you know what? I am gonna cut this commentary here, though. Again, like I said, there's not really much else to this fight as far as strategy-wise. You know, it's essentially just, again, keeping your characters dispelled, you know, after immolation's been used on them. That's huge, because otherwise, like I said earlier, if you don't take care of that right away, his next, you know, immolation on the same character will kill them. So, you know, again, just I guess keep up the pattern. Like I said earlier, you know, if you can get into a good groove here, this fight is extremely easy. Now, I guess one last thing I do want to add, I'm not sure about the whole, you know, if break HP limit is absolutely necessary or not. I don't know. Most of these hits, I was taking less than 10k, but I do know at certain points I did take more, you know, and my characters had auto protect at all times, as well as 5 cheers on. So again, I'm not really sure what the deal was with that. If I don't know if I got unlucky or something, I don't know. But I guess for me, this gear setup worked extremely well. I was really happy with it, the way it turned out. You know, the first time I did this, I had, you know, instead of auto protect, I had defense plus 20%, and I didn't like that at all. I had to do a lot of healing just because my characters were taking, you know, like up to 20k damage at a time. And, you know, eventually you just take so much damage that you have to stop and heal, otherwise somebody's going to die, and then, you know, essentially, like I said earlier, it's extremely hard to recover in this fight after a death. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. You know, again, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Hope this guide was helpful, though, and hope you keep joining me. I think there'll probably only be, there'll be 1 or 2 more fights after this. I mean, or sorry, videos after this. There's really not much else to the walkthrough. You know, like I said, this is, I would say that he's the toughest enemy in the game, and really anything else is a breeze if you can take this guy down. So again, you know, I hope this guide was helpful, though, and hope you join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.